Well, hey everyone, it's Black Child here, and we're now in the summer hate, where everybody hates everybody, and people are getting busting their head to the white meat, basically. Before I get into that, I just wanted to actually touch on something that I don't. Some YouTubers are talking about, some of the smaller ones. I have seen some other people talk about it, but I logged into my YouTube the other day and literally like every video I've had, literally all of them had been either they put limited ads, that this video does not qualify for the full ad, you know, thing that they do, I guess, and it just said limited ads. Um, or if it was limited, if it wasn't limited ads, it was just demonetized altogether. Um, So censorship is real. I don't know if some of the other I know everybody, especially within the truther, quote unquote truther community, is feeling the effects of it. I don't know if everyone is talking about it, but it's 100% happening to me, which is why I'm doing the Patreon now. Thank you to the patrons who have donated and supported. Um, I've actually been quite surprised to see some of the people who were donating, but that it was really cool. And I think it's amazing. I'm just humbled and appreciate it. But that's what's happening. YouTube is censoring not only me, but many other people who want to talk about things other than cat videos, other than um, these eating videos that people do. Because when I looked on the term of services as to why are my all my videos now unlimited ads, um, it's because you can't talk about politics, you can't talk about anything controversial, can't be terrorism, can't be anything. Um, so that's basically, if you're not doing cat videos or makeup tutorials, then you're done. I'm going to continue to keep doing these videos. I mean, as long as it's viable, as long as I can. The reason why I haven't posted anything in almost 2 weeks is because I'm actually working on a video now, and this one is, um, I mean, I know people like the sensationalism and the drama and everything, but this next one that I'm working on is basically like history of the deep state. How did they kind of start off till where we are today? But then all this people getting ran over with the car and hail Trump and Nazi people. So I figured I would address that in this quote summer of hate. Um, so basically, what happened, if you haven't heard, there was a somewhere in Virginia. They were going to take down the statue of Robert E. Lee, who was a racist Confederate person, who they did want to keep slavery going, and they did want to keep black people in the subservient, subhuman, 2/3 of a person type thing. These were those people back in the day. And he championed the Confederacy and et cetera, et cetera. So some white supremacists went to go, I guess, protest the fact that they were going to take down the statue, which basically they were just using it as a way to kick some stuff off on for everybody, because once obviously the white supremacists said that they were going to do this protest, then Antifa, anti-fascist, the Black Lives Matters, and the other I guess, quote unquote, anti-fascist, liberal, progressive movement protesters, or whatever you want to call them, went to confront the white supremacists. They go do this thing, and they're walking with these tiki sticks or some sort of a candle, some burning torch thing. Um, and they're saying "Hail Trump," "Hail Victory." Um, and overall being pretty racist, and being, it was definitely a racist demonstration. Then the next day, it was another somewhat of a demonstration with some of the white supremacists. However, again, they try to confuse you with so many different people out there that you don't know who's who. And I mean, if you're white, they're just classifying you as one of the white supremacists. But um, the understanding that I have is that not all of the white people that were out there were part of the white supremacist group. The majority of the white people that were out there were, I mean, either they were Antifa or they were pro-Trump, but not white supremacists. And then of course you have the Black Lives Matter. So there's different factions within this mosh pit of people who are basically just trying to start a fight. So during the second day of these demonstrations, they, basically everybody has seen the video. A car ran into other cars that ran into people, and one person is dead, and a bunch of other people are, some people are critical, some people are injured, obviously. What's so crazy is they just keep showing it over and over and over. I'm like, what is this, the 838th time that you will have shown these people, somebody losing their life over and over and over again? And then what's so crazy to me is on YouTube, they'll take away all the money that I'm making off YouTube because I'm too, quote, political. But then on the TV, they could just show this woman getting murdered over and over and over and over. I mean, and it just doesn't end. I mean, literally every 4 minutes, every 3 to 4 minutes, they just keep showing, these people just getting ran over by a car. So they're saying the guy, not really saying the guy was a white supremacist. They had pictures of him, with the whole regalia and all this other stuff. And, of course, like a lot of these incidents that happened, he had prior military service. Now, they're also, I mean, like, again, for the white people, they're basically just grouping basically any white person that is kind of supports Trump or is an anti-government or something as just a white supremacist alt-right. And they started with Steve Bannon. This all began with Steve Bannon in terms of this whole alt-right thing, because Steve Bannon runs Breitbart, which, I mean, if a lot of people in this truth community do know what Breitbart is, and I've never read any racist writings on Breitbart. It's always been about what's actually going on, or trying to inform the public about what's actually going on. And that's one reason why I read Breitbart and Drudge and stuff like that, because I would say it does have somewhat of a conservative slant to it, but that doesn't make you a Nazi. It just doesn't make you a Nazi. So they're starting all the stuff with Steve Bannon, this alt-right, alternative right. And if you listen to the Hillary speech that she did, which was when they began this whole thing of alt-right, she just basically threw everyone into it. Nazis, white supremacists, people who legitimately hate others based upon race and other things, and then classifying them with 9/11 truthers, with Alex Jones, with Russian hackers. I mean that, to her, that was the alt-right.
But today, Donald Trump, divisive prejudice, hate groups, radical, dangerous, largely white racism, sinister, harmful, dog whistle, hateful, racial discrimination, conspiracy theories, birthers, racist, rapists and criminals, bigotry, racist, white supremacists.
Everybody that was against her. And they're still doing it. And then when you watch the mainstream media of how they're showing this protest thing, it's anybody that's not Antifa is alt-right, which they've already made the correlation between the alt-right and the Nazi people. So you're just a racist. So it's kind of rough. I mean, it's kind of rough. Again, anytime, I've realized in August, this is when things kick off. Mike Brown protests, Ferguson, all of that stuff that happened in August. So this is the time they like to kick off some race war, antagonistic type stuff. Which, this whole mosh pit of people that was there, beating each other, hitting each other. All I think I can envision of this it's just going to escalate. It's going to continue to escalate, and it's not going to stop until there's a major domestic terrorism event. That's obviously what they want, and by the looks of it, I'm sure that, of course, a person would emerge and he would have a military background and everything, because again, everybody has basically had, the Black Lives Matter. The guy shot the cops in, what was that, Texas, I think. He shot some cops, and he was Black Lives Matter. I think he had military experience. Then this guy ran into the people. He was in the military. So do I think it was a false flag? I don't know. Because, to be honest with you, the way that these people do behave at the protests, you don't need the government to tell you to go kill somebody. They'll just go, it gets that intense that people will do stuff like that. I can't just say, oh, it was a false flag, because the hate, like I said, it's a summer hate. The hate is really, you can feel it. It's a real thing. So, that's what, like everybody says, that's what George Soros wants. They want war, they want death, they want race war, because again, it's just a distraction from them doing whatever they do in the underground base, them, stealing and basically looting third world Middle Eastern countries as well as Africa, them basically, giving us, GMO foods and basically, robbing us through the Federal Reserve System, just various things, trillions of dollars going to the black budget. What are they spending all this money, these trillions of dollars, in what? I think that they spend the majority of it on weaponry, but I know a lot of that money is going to underground base, and God knows what they're doing down there. So, it's all about just keeping the people on the surface distracted with whatever is going on. And that's where this whole North Korea thing comes in. To be honest with you, I personally believe that if they could, they would start World War III. That is what they want. But to me, it's just laughable, this whole North Korea thing, because they make it seem like, it's like countdown until Kim Jong-un launches a nuclear warhead to the United States. And it's a joke. It's actually a joke, because this guy in North Korea, they are essentially, him and his people, the most, what is the word? They're the most not well connected, but they know the most about what's happening outside of the world. Him and his circle of people, they're the most informed people, in that area of the world. So he knows that this is America we're talking about here. He knows that we probably have some weaponry that could just vaporize him. So he's enjoying being a dictator. It's not like he doesn't like being a dictator. He's the most powerful man there. He can get anybody killed in that country, and they worship him. So, he could. That could all go away just by him launching a nuclear weapon. He knows that, and not only that, it's over for him. If he does that, his whole regime is over. The people of North Korea, the ones that survived the bombing campaign, would basically be free people, I guess. I'm assuming. So I don't think he would really want to do that, because everything that they had worked so hard for this whole decades of him and his father and the grandfather and all of them basically just goes out of the window. So I highly doubt he's going to launch a nuclear weapon. I doubt that Trump is going to launch one so that they can blame him and say, oh my God, Trump killed thousands of North Koreans for no reason. So I highly doubt he's going to do that, even though these people that are surrounding him, they want war. These people, these Republicans, people like Lindsey Graham, who is a Bilderberger, as well as some other ones. That was another thing I didn't get to do this year, was a video about the Bilderberg attendees. But Republican Lindsey Graham, I don't think he went this year. I'm not sure if he went this year, but I know they had a few senators that did go. He went last year to the one that they had in Germany. So they're against Trump. They hate him. America, as well as some of the other superpowers, they've already admitted that they have space weaponry. They have those satellites that go up in space. They've already said that, you know, they use them as political cover, that they can say, oh, well, we're just trying to better the world and give the world more technology, like like how Mark Zuckerberg said, we're trying to give free internet to Africa. No, okay. So when they send the satellites up, they have, quote, dual use, meaning that they don't tell people, and it's a top secret thing, but the satellite or this whatever thing that they send it into space also has the capability to, have some sort of a laser, some sort of a weaponry that can destroy stuff, blow stuff up. And I highly doubt that North Korea is at that phase in development in their country. So, and I'm sure China, who is, North Korea is like a China proxy. I'm sure China probably tells them, like, wow, well, we have those things, so we're assuming that Americans have them as well. And, I don't know if you want to get vaporized just yet, So that's basically what's going on. It's a summer of hate, trying to, get this race riot, race war thing going. They're grouping Alex Jones into this whole alt-right thing, and Alex Jones now is becoming he's got the juice. Alex Jones has the juice now. He has made a deal with this guy Roger Stone, who's I don't know what the deal is with Roger Stone, but when I look at him sometimes he just looks off. I don't know if it's drugs, like if he takes pills or what his deal is, but the two of them are plugged in. Alex Jones is now plugged in through Roger Stone, and Roger Stone is connected to Trump, and they're calling them the alt-right, they're white supremacists, they're this, they're that. And the only thing I can say, white people, is, I can't be the champion for you all. I mean, I'm trying to be a champion, I guess, for humanity, trying to show humanity the truth. I can't be the champion for white people because, I'm trying to work with black people here, and it's tough, it's one battle at a time, at least for me. And, but I will say it does very much seem like there's a concerted effort to just bring the white man down. Because, see, white women, they can, I guess, kind of, because they're still, quote, a minority. And, the truth of the matter is that minority men still very much, check for white women. So in general, the white woman, I think, can survive longer in this climate than the white male, because they're trying to take him down. And I will say that white supremacy is real. Racist white people are a thing. Because I worked for one. I worked for one white Jewish woman who was, she wasn't racist to my face, but the other white people would tell me the things she would say, not about me, but just, her racist sayings that she would say to the other whites, like, oh, you see this piece of white paper? This is us, pure, this is good. You see this paper? It's yellow, not good, Asian. And then the Asian girl sitting right there as she's saying this to the guy. So, white supremacy is real, but at the same time, I think that, being a white person and having some pride in being white isn't a bad thing either, because I'm black and nobody can ever tell me not to have pride in being black. So, it's a slippery slope. But when you're sitting up there saying, hail victory during the Nazi salute, you're definitely on the deeper end of the spectrum. So, it is what it is. They're trying to blame Trump, get David Duke, who is the former Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, to, I don't know what his whole agenda is. He's saying he supports Trump, and then they're trying to make it seem like Trump, is his best friend, even though Trump has never met the guy. Trump basically said he doesn't even know who he is, which I don't know. But this is, they have these like cult leaders on all sides. On the BLM side, you have this David Duke guy, and it's just all controlled. I don't know who David Duke answers to. I'm sure it's a Masonic group that he's in, definitely. I'd be willing to bet. But I mean, they're working, it's almost as if they're working together to start the race war. So you have George Soros and his think tanks, because that's how, a lot of this grassroots stuff begins, is basically with the think tank. So the think tank is somewhere where you have, higher education people of, professors, university professors, esteemed, you know, education, collegiate people with very wealthy people like George Soros, the people who can throw millions of dollars into, some grassroots thing where, they're trying to influence public opinion. And I think that this is where a lot of what you see on television is starting, at these type of think tanks. And to be honest with you, that's definitely something I want to work on, and exposing that, working on getting that, revealing those type of things, because that is how a lot of these grassroots things begin. That with the tech people, these tech people are literally, they're another set of people that I'm about to do videos on, because just like what's happening on here on YouTube with the censorship, and we're basically going to starve you out. I can't fully blame YouTube. I know it's a Google thing, or a quote Alphabet thing, with the advertisers who are pulling the money. So it's an elite thing, and it's this whole quote the Illuminati. They are trying to take us down. I mean, not only just the truth people. I mean, anyone that has the platform to have a different viewpoint than them. They're just pissed. They're just pissed at how things are playing out, and they're mad. So they're using these tech people now to basically collect everyone's data, and also now not only collect everyone's data and give back doors to the government, so that they can monitor and surveil on anyone, but then they're also using the social media people and these tech people to influence, the masses. And now, I mean, everyone's talking about how horrible Facebook is in terms of them censoring people. And I keep telling people, how do you think Mark Zuckerberg is almost a trillionaire? I mean, it's not, they're not just, these guys aren't just making all this money for just no reason. I'm telling you, they're giving back doors into the government. The government's throwing them. I'm sure this is where some of this black budget money is going to, probably helping, working with these tech people to develop softwares and etc., to just continue to spy and data, collect data, and also to, influence public opinion about stuff. But I tell you one thing, these people, these demonstrators and these protesters are really giving the Illuminati a run for their money in terms of who could be crazier, because these people are going out and they're not, they're going on their own heart and their own emotions, and that's why I definitely see this escalating into some domestic terrorism thing, on all sides, literally on every single side. It's literally like this whole demonstration game of 2016 into 2017 has become like the Syrian civil war over there. It's like you've got all these different factions showing up to do what? I don't really know, but they're there, and they're beating the crap out of each other. But then, I'm sure that they've got their, sleepers and their MK Ultra people put in place, so that when it gets time, when they get, on their numerology date or whatever they're going to do, they'll do it and blame Trump and say, he's inflaming, he's encouraging white supremacists and domestic terrorists to, kill liberals and kill everybody else. But as we've seen, the Republicans got shot up by the Bernie supporter, the cops got shot up by the Black Lives Matter guy in Texas. So, we're just gonna, I guess, see which faction is gonna be the one to really kick it off. I hope it's not the black people. I mean, as a black person, I hope it's not one of us, but it probably won't be, because then they can't blame Trump. But then I'm sure they'll probably find a way anyway. So anyway, I just figured I'd do a quick video on that. The summer of hate, people getting, beat to the white meat. There's really not much you can say about it, other than if you are gonna go, wear a helmet, stay prayed up, and document it so that everybody else can see what's going on the ground down there. So that's happening. YouTube censorship. I'm not sure what the other YouTubers think, or if any of them are experiencing it. I'm sure they are. But I mean, this is why I say support your YouTuber YouTubers that you watch, and that that you would like to see continue doing what they're doing, because in 3 to 4 years, I think a lot of these people that are on YouTube now will probably be gone. And speaking of YouTube people, now they're recruiting. I mean, these YouTube people are everywhere now. YouTube people are now going mainstream. They have this guy Jake Paul, who people have asked me to do videos about him. I mean, I actually have seen enough stuff from Jake Paul and what is this house that they live in, Team 10, in this Team 10 house. I've seen enough evidence from both him, Team 10, and people that were somewhat affiliated with them to make a video about them, because I would say that it's definitely some bizarre stuff going on with Jake Paul. I think that him and his brother definitely are playing the game. They're definitely, because even though he's doing movies with YouTube Red, I mean, I'm seeing, the videos of him walking, and there's a big billboard with his face on it of the brother, the older one. But then also, this girl Trisha Paytas, who's also a YouTuber, was on Celebrity Big Brother, which, by the way, I've done a video on about how it was a mega occult ritual in the UK. And so I heard that she was going to be on the show, and I've actually seen some of it. She was on the show, and they only brought this girl on the show to completely just humiliate her. I don't know if she's crossed over, if that was the whole point of it, to see if she would want to cross over or what. But they basically just humiliated this girl, and then she left the show and didn't get paid. So I don't know if they're gonna, if she's gonna cross over anymore. I don't know if that's gonna happen now. But it does seem like, they're recruiting YouTubers. They're basically just using people's YouTube channels as audition tapes, and I'm all for people being successful and doing what they love, but I just hope it's not at the cost of people's souls, And then Jake Paul, I've also seen these videos of, they have these paparazzi videos of, because there's paparazzi channels on YouTube, where they're just gang stalking these quote celebrities around Los Angeles or wherever. And a few of the videos is outside the Jake Paul house. And they have these kids don't even look like they're 12. These kids look like they maybe about 8, 9. And I'm like, where are these children's parents? They're outside this Jake Paul's house, like he's like Michael Jackson, screaming. He has like a rent-a-cop that stands outside the house now. It's really bizarre. But again, that's what YouTube wants. YouTube likes that type of behavior, ridiculous pranks, terrifying, not terrifying, but what's the word? Basically terrorizing the people that live in the house. It's like if you get chosen, oh wow, you're so lucky to get to move into the Team 10 house. It's just nothing but rituals. Every day you wake up and you're being terrorized, you're being humiliated, for him to basically put it on his YouTube channel and then make money off of it. So it is what it is, but that's what YouTube wants. So whatever. I think this was supposed to be a short video. We'll have to get edited down, but I'm still here doing videos. Thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. It's like amazing. And stay tuned, because we're going to see what's going to happen with the rest of the summer of hate. So until next time, stay in the truth, stay in the Lord.